Now, does anybody have to go to the bathroom?
No.
All right.
No, but now that you mentioned it, no, I don't. I'm good.
Life on the road. This is life on the road. Everybody ready? Well, the crowd went crazy when the boys came out. It didn't take them long for those women to pull their dollars out. We hadn't done a lot of shows, we could count them on one hand. I'll never forget the one night when I heard those women scream, "Dance, polyester man! Dance, 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 polyester man!" In those tight, tight pants, just as fast. You can't even see Dad. Dad moved.
Yeah, I
You
did.
need to move her to the side there so we can see you.
Why?
Take two. Well, the crowd went crazy when the boys came out. It didn't take too long for those women to pull their dollars out. We hadn't done a lot of shows, we could count them on one hand. I'll never forget the one night when I heard those women scream, "Dance, polyester man! Dance, 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 polyester man!" In those tight, tight pants, just as fast as you can. If I wasn't married, I'd try to take your hand. You don't know how much I love you, my polyester man. It didn't take me long and I began to dance around. My feet were moving so fast they barely hit the ground. I knew it was coming when I heard the sound. I've always loved your music, I've always been a fan. Don't be selfish with your chest hair, my polyester man. Dance, 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 polyester man. In those tight, tight pants, just as fast as you can. If I wasn't married, I'd try to take your hand. You don't know how much I love you, my polyester man. I knew what they wanted, so I let some chest hair out. They still wanted more and they began to shout. So I threw off my red shirt, let's say I'm not too tan. They said, "You're our hero, our Snow White polyester man." Dance, 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 polyester man. In those tight, tight pants, just as fast as you can. If I wasn't married, I'd try to take your hand. You don't know how much I love you, my polyester man. After 2 hours of entertaining, I knew I had to go. The crowd was still cheering, my dancing hadn't slowed. I knew if I kept going, my pants weren't gonna hold. I had some ladies in the front row come up and lend me a hand. "You're welcome to the last dance with your polyester man." And they were still screaming
And the mumbling.
Dance, 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 polyester man. In those tight, tight pants, just as fast as you can. If I wasn't married, I'd try to take your hand. You don't know how much I love you, my polyester man. You don't know how much I love you, my polyester man. Jerry Anderson on the guitar, Roxy Anderson backup vocals. This is the Polyester Man podcast. I'm Jason Anderson.
And I am Russell Anderson, Biff Bobcat Rogers, Bud Catfish Dickerson.
And what you just heard was a live recording of Polyester Man. That's the song that resonates with us. We wrote it because of all of the it's kind of like the theme of our band, really.
Absolutely.
Polyester.
Well, yeah, polyester is the world's greatest the greatest fabric. We even have a song just dedicated to polyester.
It's called Polyester.
It is. It is called polyester, and polyester is easy to find at any thrift store, Goodwill, any place like that where you want to get your polyester from.
Yeah.
That's where we shop.
And so the reason that we chose polyester is because the way the Hillbilly Junction Boys got formed, and I don't think we told the kind of the origin story, have we yet?
Maybe, but they can hear it
We'll
again.
tell it again. It's a good story. When we went to college in Chadron,
Go Eagles.
go Eagles, we had a couple friends, Eric Grimm and Travis Humble, that we lived with and real good friends with, and we were invited to a harvest party. They wouldn't do Halloween because it was a church-based party, so they called it a harvest party. But
Halloween's the tool of the devil.
but we still dressed up in costume, and we still did all the traditional things you do at a Halloween party. And so we were trying to think of what to do, how to dress up, and
Because wasn't the theme 70s?
yeah, it was,
70s.
and that helped us out right there. That gave us all the material we needed. So we knew
Literally, material, polyester.
we knew that by wearing the tightest polyester pants we could, it would enhance all of our assets and just drive the crowd crazy for maybe all the right reasons or all the wrong reasons.
And in the song we talk about, keeping dancing and your pants weren't going to hold. True story with that, we were dancing and my pants did in fact not hold.
Show them some of your moves. Show them some of your moves.
It was like this, and there's the chopper.
Yeah, the chopper. I like the chopper. It's a very unique move. And Russell does most of the dancing because I'm kind of glued to the guitar, thankfully, I think for me and for the crowd. But Russell really does get into it. And
No official dance training. It's all like fly by the seat of my pants, choreography on the spot.
Yep, and split by the seat of his pants.
When the music inspires you to move.
You move.
That's right. But yeah, you remember when I split my pants out at the harvest party. That's a true story there.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that on the last episode,
little bit,
how,
yeah.
how we had a crew of people. Even though we didn't have an official road crew, there was a crew of people that just showed up to help get you back together.
Tried to patch it up with staples and then tried to patch it up with tape. Whatever other things we could find in the kitchen, wherever this, party took
Yeah,
place.
I can't even remember where it took place, but there was a kitchen, and everybody knows that's the best place to find the stuff that you need to sew up a split pair of pants.
MacGyver could have done it, but we're no MacGyver.
But not modern MacGyver, right, Dad?
Right.
Yeah, because modern MacGyver uses computers, and modern MacGyver wouldn't have been able to handle this.
Yep. The original MacGyver, he only needed his Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, and a bottle of bleach and
And a shoestring.
a broom handle.
And a plunger.
That's all I need.
Yep, and a paddleball game. We talk about how the crowd went crazy when we came out. We have a mild fan base, and we have done some performances, where people expect us and they kind of know our style and they come out and they cheer for us. And we had one. Remember when I was student teaching in Alliance, Nebraska, and we performed, and that's where we kind of started with
Yeah,
the
that
Praise
was-
Fan. They ran up and they stuffed $1 down my shirt, so that was a new experience, but it was fun.
And that was like in a basement somewhere, wasn't it?
Well, it was like at the basement, like a VFW hall or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
There were like,
Nursing
2 or 3
home.
people there, and just kind of, questionable lighting.
What I remember about a lot of the gigs that we did was how, we were dressed in tight pants that didn't give us mobility. We wore shoes that were real slick on the bottoms, and so I always felt like we were like bulls in a china shop wherever we went. I remember the one time we did that gig at Angela's. Angela's was a Mexican restaurant in Chadron. It's where we did a lot of our gigs.
Angela was probably our one of our biggest fans. She was definitely an advocate for the Hillbilly Junction
Right.
Boys.
Yeah. And so I remember the one time where it was icy, and there was that little thin alley. It was like barely wide enough for a person between 2 buildings, and we had parked behind. So we
Because
did.
you always got to come through the back door.
Right. You can't walk in with the normals. You got to establish a presence. But we were walking through. I remember shimmying through this little alley, and it's icy. and we're just kind of like squished in there, just hoping nobody falls before we get in. And I remember that was kind of like the way it was. I at least felt like that everywhere we went. Like we were just kind of out of place until the music started, and then.
But like coming into Angela's, you would come through the back alley, and then there was a long, like, dark hallway as you were entering the restaurant. So as soon as we hit the back door, we had our customary dun 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 dun. Like,
Yeah, we can play that now.
yeah, so like, and I was on the pill bottle, the until I got an actual maraca. And I mean, we came in like that, and that's when. You went from silly face to game face, and you just brought the tunes.
From loser to crowd pleaser in less than 5 seconds.
And we did a lot of birthday gigs. That's how it started there in Angela's, is where we performed a lot. And when we first started, we just did familiar tunes and put in funny lyrics about a person for their birthday. And I remember one time, I mean, we were kind of like a every weekend deal there.
Yeah.
And the crowd knew it. We did a song to 2 pina coladas, and it was 2 greasy hillbillies. And part of the crowd actually joined in the chorus.
Because we gave them chorus notes.
Yeah. We gave the volleyball team that was there chorus notes, but then the rest of the crowd
Shout out
just
to
joined in
Nikki.
too. Yeah. Good times there. So like when you get the crowd behind it and they're singing with you, and because let's face it, we're not the big stars where we just hold the mic out and let the crowd sing along. They don't know our lyrics.
Crickets, man, crickets.
Yeah. Dance, dance, dance.
Go home.
Yeah, that's what we normally got. So, but
Loosen those pants.
put the pants back on.
We never asked you to take them off.
Too much chest hair. Too much chest hair. And those kind of things, But we didn't let any of those comments bring us down.
No. What we should talk about, since this is a special episode, is we should talk about the 2 people sitting behind us. This is our parents, Jerry Anderson, which we introduced earlier, and Roxy Anderson. And they have a huge part to play in the history of the Hillbilly Junction Boys. The reason that I play the guitar is because of Dad. Growing up, he would always play, and I always liked hearing him, and so I taught myself to play so I could play with him. And then it was just a skill that I had. So when we started, we had something to go with. And Mom has always been our biggest fan.
Woo, woo, woo.
So I mean, and honestly, I mean, for this silly stuff that we do, they're huge supporters of us, and that goes a long way, I think.
And Dad always has a way of keeping us humble. We always would write a song and just really think it was awesome. And we'd be all hyped up, and we'd call, performing in our upstairs apartment in Shadron that was like a sweatbox in the summer. And we would just crank out song after song and get jazzed up, and we'd call and sing it to Dad over the phone. And, we'd be like, hey, yeah, what do you think of that? And
what did you always say?
Tune needs work.
Tune needs work.
Tune needs work, yeah.
And he'd just be like, tune needs work.
So.
Yeah, so it's always nice when the fame starts going to your head that you have a dad like ours that brings you down and keeps you back, keeps you
gotta
grounded.
keep grounded. You can't live with your head in the clouds.
Somebody does have to keep you lined out.
Yeah, and it's funny that you talk about writing those songs in the sweatbox. Yeah, I mean, we lived in an upstairs apartment in Shadron, Nebraska, and in the summers it would get super hot. We had no AC. I think we might have had a window unit, but that was only for the bedroom. So anywhere else that you went, it was
with our customized bunk beds.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, we can talk about all kinds of stuff here. So, yeah, the customized bunk beds. When we first moved to Shadron, well, Russell lived in Shadron for 2 years before I came there. And then when I moved there, Russell, myself, Eric, and Travis moved into a double-wide hillbilly deluxe.
North side of Shadron.
North side!
Right by the road, the dirt road leading to the res. It was like the last bit of town.
Yeah, abandon hope, all who enter here.
But it had a deck.
And it did have a deck, and that was a feature. I mean, if
it wasn't a safe deck, OSHA wouldn't have certified it. It looked like it was made out of just like random pieces of rotten wood, and like there were some that were like
Yeah,
warped so bad it was crazy.
It
but
wasn't smooth.
we, that was all we needed. We would sit on that or fall through it every night. So, and we had mice in there and all that fun stuff. And remember that when you would grab the refrigerator handle, there was that metal strip in front of it.
Mild shock.
Like if you stood on the metal strip on the floor that was holding down the carpet or rotten linoleum, but if you stepped on that and barefoot and you grabbed the refrigerator handle, it would zap you a little bit.
It was weight control, old school style.
Yeah, we're not sure why that happened.
Yeah, but it was a crazy place, and so we're both big dudes. I mean, Russell's 6'5", I'm 6'3", and we had a set of bunk beds that I can't remember where we got. Travis, our friend.
He had a matching set.
Okay, yeah, he gave us the bunk beds, but the bunk bed had a queen or a twin on the bottom.
A full on bottom, twin on top.
See, this is why Russell's here. He remembers everything. His mind is sharp like tack. So I'm a big picture guy. He's a little picture guy. So anyhow, I had a full on the bottom and then just a little tiny twin on the top. And we're not doing this. We need full on the bottom and full on the top. And so we decided to make
That's how we roll. Full on the bottom and full on the top.
So we decided that we would use our specific set of skills to build an extendo bunk on top.
The bad thing was we did not have the adequate tools to do the task, so we had to use what we had.
And it was just like a power drill.
Well,
right?
That's all we had to drill through, but then we had those metal straps that we had to cut with a hacksaw.
Right.
And that took forever because and then drilled some holes and bolted it on. We didn't have a welder, so everything was just like bolted together and a little sketchy.
And we made several trips to the hardware store probably. And we did a lot of that stuff too. We did a lot of stuff in Shattering. I think on the very first podcast, and I was just listening to it yesterday again, we talk about how we're brothers, and a lot of people didn't know that. Well, we lived together in Shattering, and we made a lot of appearances at places. And we said we were brothers.
Furniture store. We bought a mattress.
together.
And a roll of carpet.
And we'd go in and we'd always get these looks and we're like, we're brothers. It's okay. And I don't think that satisfied people's curiosities because we didn't look like brothers. And they're like, what are you guys buying a mattress together for? So it was always
what
awkward.
two guys don't buy a mattress together?
Right.
And a roll of carpet. I think what put it over the top was, remember that little paper mache woman we
Right.
haggled and wheeled and dealed to get? Because every guy wants one of those. And you still have it, right? Isn't it in your house?
Well, no, it is a traveling trophy now for our men's group at church. Every year we'd have a white elephant gift. And so one year we wrapped her up and gave her as a white elephant gift to this party. And now it's like the big thing that everybody wants, and it gets rewrapped every year, and someone new wins it. So it was a little paper mache woman, probably 3 or 4 feet tall, and she had a removable tray.
Yeah, and these little metal glasses.
Yep.
She sat by our front door in the double wide.
Held our keys until she got arthritis and couldn't hold the plate anymore.
Yeah, we got her cheap because she had a big crack in her arm, but we just used some glue and spackled that shut. But we traveled around, and I know when I moved to Lyman, Colorado, I think I had her for a little bit, and then passed her along to you, and nice that she's still in circulation.
Yep, still out there doing the good work.
So you think about that, she's over, we've had her over 23 years almost.
Yeah.
20 more, something.
Yeah. And so now back to the double bunk. We put this double bunk together using all those things that we talked about, and so now we had a full mattress on the top and a full mattress on the bottom, and then came the initial test. And at night, if you were on the bottom bunk, which I was, and that didn't make any sense now looking back.
It didn't make sense
because Russell's taller than I am.
I don't understand the logistics of that.
But I would just lay there underneath this, and I would hear him get up there and I hear creak, creak. And every time he would move, I heard creak, creak. And I was like, am I just going to wake up dead in the morning, just flattened by Russell underneath the mattress we bought together?
Well, yeah, but see what was even funnier was, we needed 2 full mattresses. We only bought 1. So you might be wondering, where did the second mattress come from? It didn't come with the bunk bed. It was left in the house when we moved in. So Jason was using like this old mattress that was just in this
I think
double-wide
Mom,
trailer.
this might be the first time she's hearing this.
Yeah.
She's very concerned.
Because that's safe. Yeah, so we bought 1 mattress. We didn't buy 2. But see, the mattress came with a box spring. So like one of us got the mattress and box spring, and then one of us
Plush.
just got the mattress.
Plush.
So it was a fair trade. But then, yeah, so like talking about the upstairs apartment, remember when we first moved in there, we had that old heavy couch of our grandma's that had like a hide-a-bed in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we tried to take it up there, and it was one of those, the roof was slanted like that. You're
It was
like,
a very narrow old hallway.
yeah,
and
with
steep
like
stairs.
Really
that
steep
had about,
stairs.
6 inches to stand on, but they went like that. I rolled down them a couple times.
It's like our road to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. But we were trying to move that couch up there, and we couldn't get it. I think we knocked some holes in the plaster, and
Yeah.
we had to fix that so that Roger,
We did a whole lot of fix-up and stuff for Roger.
yeah.
Roger was...
Some of which we caused, others of, we just did improvements for him. But yeah, so we couldn't get the couch up there, so we had to we took it to the used furniture store.
Mhm.
Did they even pay us anything for it?
Probably not.
Because we traded it on a blue couch.
Yeah.
But we ended up having to give like $25 on our old couch. So we got like this blue couch, and remember how bad it stunk?
Yeah.
We got Febreze by the gallon and soaked it down, but it was small enough and light enough that it actually turned the corner. And that was the first. I took that couch when I started teaching down in Lyman.
Now
That
we
was
have
my
nice
first-
things.
Yeah.
Now we have nice things.
Now we've upgraded a little bit. But yeah, that stinky couch and
Well, and so, we'd sit there in the hot summers and write songs. And I remember we wrote Rocky Balboa. You remember that?
oh yeah.
We wrote a song called I Want to Be Like Rocky Balboa. And
Because who doesn't want to be like Rocky Balboa?
And I can't remember what you were wearing, but I had on jean shorts, and like, it was so hot I'd taken my shirt off. And so, like, we're done writing this song, we're just pumped, because the Rocky Saga is
Nothing
just...
like hanging out with your brother in a basement or in an upstairs apartment in jean shorts and no shirt, just sweating it out in the summer.
But
That's what makes you close.
we were so jazzed about that song, and we come outside, and like, I'm just sweaty and wearing jean shorts, and we're just so jazzed, and then we called Dad and sung the song, and the same old thing, tune needs work.
Tune needs work.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's like, oh, I don't think you ought to say that.
That's true.
Yeah, those were the two expressions that Dad, the 2 bits of advice. Tune needs work, and I don't think you should say that. So
After all that, look how you turned out anyway.
That's true.
yeah,
For
maybe
better or
we
worse.
shouldn't have said that, but we continue to say it. Someone's got to get the message to the people.
Well, when you were talking about your furniture in the upstairs apartment, I was thinking about the furniture at the double wide. First time Dad and I saw it.
Tell us about that.
I will. We heard from the boys that they'd found the perfect place, double wide, on an acre of land. And the big selling point, it had a deck.
And rusted cars out front, like a whole line of rusted cars.
But since we were the closest set of parents, they wanted us to take a look at it before they signed a lease on it. Keep in mind it had a deck. So Dad and I came up. Russell and Eric and Travis were already out there. Jason, we met you on the campus, and then you took us out there to see this double wide with a deck.
Like a bona fide real estate agent.
Yeah, and so we pull up there, and here is this rundown, double wide, with a deck across the whole front. 3 of the 4 boys were sitting out there with big grins on their face, like, got a deck. And so Dad and I pull up and we kind of give each other a look like, this is it? Got a deck, all right. So we walk up stairs that are not level, kind of shaky,
Yeah.
onto a deck that has boards that are sticking up and there's holes in it, and
Rustic.
like, yeah, and we're kind of looking at it like, yeah, it's got a deck, but this thing, it's not safe. Then we go inside, and oh my gosh, yeah, it was furnished with, I don't know, furniture from abandoned sites along the road to the res, and just
That's where the mattress came from.
just a dump, but it had a deck. That was the selling point. Dad and I could not say no because you guys were all so excited about this place. But we said, the furniture has to go. Furniture has to go. Luckily, we had enough old stuff. You guys could furnish it.
That we were trying to get rid of.
Yeah, we were trying to find a home for. So that was our first impression of the double wide. Had a deck.
Well, and I remember, we talked about doing the improvements at for Roger at the upstairs apartment, but we talked about the refrigerator kind of shorting out on you at the double wide, but also like a lot of the outlets were like cracked and just in horrible shape. The fuse box, the breakers were kind of just dangling there, and so we
A lot of OSHA code violations in that place.
And so we decided, because we had enough experience to replace some outlet cover or just some outlets, the holes, as from Seinfeld show. We had enough.
Get into the holes.
I wouldn't say but the best. Good. We were good at it. So we had enough experience to do that. We had enough experience to replace the circuit breakers, but we went to Joella. Remember,
Yeah.
Russell will tell you about Joella, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you the rest.
So our landlady, we had landlord, but like we answered to Joella, and Joella sounds a lot like Cruella, and like Joella was her real name, but she smoked and sounded like Cruella. Drove a big black, like 1970 something Cadillac.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was rusty and black, and I mean, we'd go in there and she's like, "What do you need, guys?" And we're like,
really true.
We're here to pay our rent, and they're like, it's $500 a month, but you didn't pay the utilities last time.
Should I get that?
No. Well, yes. Might be rest of the crew.
So,
No. Okay.
who is it?
Housekeeping.
That's life on the road.
Housekeeping.
Sometimes housekeeping.
Need mint for pillow?
Sometimes housekeeping interrupts your podcast.
Yeah.
Real world problems.
Yeah, so Joella was very much like Cruella. She was an interesting landlady. And, that is really all I need to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, she was like a walking cigarette. I mean, and so that now you have a picture. We said, hey, we come in down to her downstairs. There's a glass shop.
Yeah.
Like a
shattered glass.
Yeah. So they put up glass panes and windows and stuff like that. Not like fancy like glass, ornaments and pictures and stuff like plates. Just like that's what a plate looks like when you put it up. And so we went downstairs and we said, hey, the double wide has a lot of problems. It has a lot of problems with electrical. It's like we will replace.
What are you talking problems? It's in top-notch shape. We just renovated it last Tuesday.
Did you see the deck?
Yeah. What about the deck? We put used.
All I'm hearing is problems. I'm not hearing solutions. Or
Complaining.
But we said, hey, we will fix this stuff. We just want some money to buy the circuit breakers and the outlets. And like she dickered with us and gave us just a total bunch of crap for like 5 minutes before she said, "Oh, I guess we can do that, honey." And so, I mean that's what we were dealing with living in the double wide.
Yeah, but then remember because the kitchen, like the cabinets and stuff were junk. Remember, so we were gonna paint them.
Yep.
You did paint them.
We did. We went out and got Adobe Tan. Is what it was, like inexpensive paint, but it's actually turned out it was pink. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Adobe Tan is a mild pink, apparently.
Not really mild. It's pretty dominant pink. So that's what our cupboards in our kitchen were painted.
And then what was the trim? It was some kind of brown. What was the trim we painted?
I don't know what goes with Adobe Tan.
I don't know, turd brown. Maybe.
Could have been that. But yeah, I mean the great memories in that place. You know, we would have our family meals, and we would have it. You'd sit down to the table, have spaghetti out, and eat it with a spork. And one time, like we lived with Eric and Travis, like we talked about. And I mean, you have 4 guys in the house, and it's you try to have chores like Jason did most of the cooking. And so, like, you had to keep it clean and do the dishes. Well, Eric and Travis, you were slobs. You did no dishes at
I
all.
can finally say it.
And normally you kept it in your own room. Like, I remember when we'd go in there and, like, your clothes literally were not ever put away, and it was like a mountain of clothes. So Travis would roll out of the bottom bunk onto a mountain of clothes.
See, Eric and Travis did it right. They put the heavy guy, big guy on the bottom.
There was no way Travis was getting to the top of the bunk. But, so one time I just got tired of doing dishes because I did them all the time. So kind of went on a little protest. Well, so I didn't wash the dishes. Used like every dish in the house was gone. So finally, I think Travis, he was eating off of a Frisbee. We had this big green plastic spork. It was wall decoration, but who doesn't do that? So I ate with a big green plastic spork. I think Jason had a big wooden spoon that we used to smack our dog around from time to time.
And I remember eating out of this old tin pot that was in there after that was dirty.
Yeah.
It sat in there so long the bottom started to corrode out of it.
Eric's eating out of a juice pitcher with just his hands. And so it got so bad with the dishes that finally when Travis and Eric decided to do them, they had to wash them in their bathtub. So, there was that.
There was that.
But, I mean, what other place could you have that much fun? And then, like, of an evening, we'd be sitting on the couch with our blowguns, and we'd be shooting mice as they would, skirt across the thing. Which brings me back to my previous story about the mound of clothes. When they were picking them up, remember they found like that dead mouse
Yes.
in their pile of clothes?
Yeah.
And like it had been dead for a while. It was like when a mouse dies and it gets flat.
Yeah,
And
and
so it's just like this flat little
probably
patch
because of the
fur.
clothes mounded
The
on
weight,
top of
the
it.
pressure.
Travis.
I mean, it was almost to the point where it would turn into oil. Dinosaurs and pressure, mouse and clothes.
But you can't make this stuff up, and it was a great time and, awesome experience in the double wide.
Yeah,
I think it's still there.
With the deck.
with the deck. Well, hey, this has been fun. Thank you so much for listening or watching, whatever you're doing. If you're on Spotify, you're able to watch, and if you're on Apple, you're hearing this for the first time. Thanks so much. This is the Polyester Man podcast. Give it up one more time for Jerry Anderson, Roxy Anderson. I'm Biff Bub.
Biff Bubcat.
I'm Biffity Boobity.
What's in
I'm
that
Bud-
apple
I'm-
juice? It's morning time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm Bud Catfish Dickerson.
And I'm Biff Bobcat Rogers.
This is the Polyester Man podcast. Take it easy.